All right, guys, let's go ahead and check our lessons from yesterday, our problems. Number 3 is 1 3/4. Number 4, 1 11/12. Number 5, 3 9/10. Number 6, 7 4/9. Number 7, 2 1/2. Number 8, 7/8. Number 9, 5 13/24. Number 10, 7/10. Number 11 is 9 11/30. Number 12, 6 13/20. And number 13 is 4 43/72. All right. Now, number 14 was our story problem. Let's check it out. It says 3 commercials are played in a row between songs on the radio. The 3 commercials fill exactly 3 minutes of time. In the first commercial, it uses 1 1/6 minutes, and the second uses 3/5. How long is the third commercial? All right. The first thing that you're going to have to do is see how many minutes that the first one and the second one take up. So the first one is 1 1/6 minutes long, and the second one is 3/5 minutes. So guess what we're going to have to do to those? Yep, you guessed. You're going to have to add those two together and subtract it from the whole. So the first thing we have to do is you have to add these two, and you see that we do not have common denominators, so we have to find our least common multiple. First, bring that whole number over. What is our common multiple of 6 and 5? You guessed it, 30. So we're going to change each of these fractions over to 30ths. 6 times 5 gets me to 30. So 1 times 5 is 5. So 1 1/6 is the same thing as 1 5/30. All right, and 5 times what gets me to 30? Yep, times 6. So 3 times 6 on our numerator is 18. Okay, now we have to add these two together. All right, so 1 stays the same and 30. Okay, 18 plus 5 is what? 18 plus 5 is 23. So these two commercials combined are 1 minute and 1 23/30 minutes long. So now our second step to the problem is take it away from the whole. So let's try it out. 1 23/30. Okay, so the two commercials combined used 1 23/30 minutes. And we're going to take that away from 3. Remember how you do that, okay? You have to take 1 from our whole, becomes a 2. Then we use the denominator, 30, since this has a denominator of 30, our second fraction. And to make a whole, you have to use 30 over 30. And 3 is the same thing as 2 30/30. Okay? All right, now we're going to subtract. Our 30 stays the same. And 30 minus 23 is 7. And 2 minus 1 is 1. So the third commercial was, and remember you have to label your story problem, was 1 7/30 minutes long. Got it? All right, let's look at number 15 down at the bottom. Number 15 said 4 students made videos for an art project. The table shows the length of each video. Match each pair of the videos with the correct difference between their numbers. All right, so video 1 and video 3. Video 1 and 3 So, are they referring to the previous? Nope. Okay, our table over here has the minutes. My bad, sorry. Okay, so we have to find the difference between videos 1 and 3. And the table shows that video 1 is 4 3/4 minutes long. Video 3 is 2 5/6 minutes long. You would have to find your common denominators, and the match for that would be the bottom number fraction, which is 1 11/12 hours. Okay? 1 11/12, videos 1 and 3. The difference between them are that. Okay? All right. Now, the next one says video 2 and 3. Videos 2 and 3, as you can see, are 4 2/5 minutes long. I'm sorry, that's hours. And video 3 is 2 5/6. They want the difference between those, so you would have to subtract them. And when you subtract those, the difference would be, so we have to match it to the first one, 1 17/30. Okay? And then our last one, we had to find the difference between video 2 and video 4. Video 2 is 4 2/5 hours long. Video 4 is 2 1/2. And the difference is 1 9/10. Okay. All right, now the next page, this is the one that's a little bit, it gives us a little bit of more of a challenge. So let's look at the next page. Now remember, guys, we usually do these together and walk through them together. I have not looked at these problems yet either, so let's walk through this together. Hopefully, I'll get them right. All right, so here we go. An amusement park in Sandusky, Ohio offers 17 amazing roller coasters for visitors to ride. Okay, there's 17. One of the roller coasters runs at 60 miles per hour. Let's see, let's take notes. One runs at 60 miles per hour, and it has 3,900 feet of twisting rack, so rails and railing. Okay, this coaster also has 3 trains with 8 rows per 3 trains with 8 rows per train. I need a bigger board, guys. The riders can stand in rows of 4. Rows of 4 for a total of 32 riders. Goodness, I should have taken notes on my paper. This is too long. All right, the operators used the coaster, recorded the operators of the coaster recorded the number of rides on each train during the run. On the first train, the operators reported that 7 1/4. I'm going to get out a sheet of paper for this. I feel like I need it. Okay. It shows that 7 1 on the first train ride. 7 1/4 rows were filled. On the second train ride, it shows that all 8 rows were filled. Okay, and on the third train ride, 5 1/2 rows were filled. How many more rows were filled on the first train than on the third train? All right, we're breaking it down, guys. It says when you summarize, you restate the most important information in a shortened form to more easily understand what you've read. Identify and summarize the important information in the problem. So let me tell you guys, what they're wanting us to find out is how many more rows were filled on the first train ride than on the third train ride. Okay? So, I don't believe that I need any of the information that they gave me in the first... I'm sorry, guys. In the first paragraph, I don't think I needed any of this information that I wrote down. All right, so we need to know that there were 3 chains with 8 rows per train, right? Well, we did too. Yeah, we did. And there were 32 riders, right? And there's a total of 7 1/4 filled on the first, 8 on the second, and 5 1/2 on the third. So that would be what our summary would be. Okay. Now it says solve the problem from above. So what I need to do is they want us to know how many more were filled on the first train than on the third. So I just have to compare those two. All I'm going to have to do is subtract. Okay. So let's subtract 7 1/4 because that was how many was on the first train ride. And the third train ride was 5 1/2. As you can see, pull over your whole numbers. As you can see, we have to find common denominators. Common denominators, 4 and 2. What am I going to use? 4 is going to be your denominator. So this one stays the same because all you did was multiply by 1. And I'm going to change 1/2 to fourths. 2 times 2 gets me to 4. So 1 times 2 is 2. As you can see, you cannot subtract going upward. 2 is larger than 1, so I have to take away from the whole. This becomes 6, and I have to put my numerator in my denominator. 4 plus 1 is 5, and I'm going to keep my denominator the same. Okay? So 7 1/4 is the same thing as 6 5/4. Now, I don't have room over here. I don't like to do this, but I'm just going to work this way so that I can have a larger area board here. So 6 minus 5 would be 2. Now I'm going to keep my denominator as a 4. All right. Keep my denominator. I'm sorry. 6 minus 5 is not 2, Miss Cundiff. It is 1. Okay. And 5 minus 2 is 3. So how many more rows were filled on the third train? 1 3/4 more rows. More rows. Okay? All right. Did you guys get that? Okay. Now our last step down there wants to know how many more rows were empty on the first train. Woo! How many additional riders would it take to fill the empty rows? Explain your answer. So there were, here we go. So let's look back. I've got to look at my book up here and look at the story problem. How many more rows were empty on the first train ride? Well, if there are 8 rows, right, we would have to take 8 and take away the 3/4. Do you see that? So we're going to have to take away 8 minus 3/4. Okay? Now remember, take 1 from your whole, make it a 7. Since we have the denominator of 4, we're going to use 4/4 up here. 7 4/4 is the same thing as 8. Now we're going to take away 3/4. Okay? So 7 minus nothing would be 7. 4 minus 3 is 1. And our denominator stays the same. So 7 1/4. Right? Wait a minute. Let me see. Yes. No, I took away the wrong thing, guys. My heavens. You don't take away 3/4. We're taking away the 7 1/4. My bad. Sorry. So that still has to be done that way. And now we're going to take away this. 7 minus 7 is 0. Our denominator stays the same. 4 minus 1 is 3. I did it backward. So 3/4 empty rows are in the first train. Ride. Okay? Now, how many additional riders would it take to fill the empty rows? Well, if there's 3/4 empty and there were 8 rows per train and 4 riders per each, let's look. That would be 4 riders in each row, and 3/4 of the rows are empty. There's 4 riders, and 3/4 are empty. Then 4 riders in each. 3/4 of the row is empty. So do you see that 1 rider? Okay, if 4 people can get in 1 row, okay, to fill up the row right here, you would have to have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the 4 people, right? Okay. Well, if the 3/4 are empty, 3 out of the 4 are empty. Do you see that? That's 3/4. How many are full? Then just 1 has a person in it. Do you see that? So how many are left? 3 empty seats are left. Do you see it? 3 out of the 4. Okay? All right. Hopefully you guys understood that last night. If not, just shoot me some questions back and I'll be happy to help you. And tonight, well, you don't really have to do it tonight. I'm going to be lenient for the weekend. But let's say on Monday, we're going to work on the homework and the practice. I want you guys to have a free weekend. I want you to do 393 and 394 we'll do that on Monday. Okay, do it on Monday. I probably won't hop on Monday. I'll hop on Tuesday and check it with you guys. Okay, and don't forget to work the Think Central, and don't forget to work with your IXL assignments. Have a good weekend and stay safe. Miss you guys.